So, today we are rating these mods. We got 7 mods to rate here? Yeah. We got 7 mods to rate this time, which is a pretty good number, Last time, I think we only rated like, what, 3 or 4? Like, it wasn't that much, if I recall, last time. So it's like, this time, we got a good number. It's also, this time, I decided to make a notepad.
Nice.
And put some notes of things that I kind of wanted to bring up with some of these mods. Just so that I can remember, kind of. There might be some things that I don't exactly remember about these mods, so to I guess, if people want to get like my full opinion on everything I specifically have problems with these mods, I recommend playing my playthroughs, watching my playthroughs of these, because I will literally say some of the things I have problems with them when they show up. So some of these I just kind of have little notes here, so. But before I do this, is there any edits I want to make to the tier list? No, I think everything's basically where it should be. I think everything's looking good. Also, I made some space in the A tier off screen. I kind of made them all slightly smaller. We're really running out of space. Shit's getting hard. It's gonna get to a point where I just have to fucking use the fucking tier list maker website. It's gonna get to a point where I have to do that because things are getting not cozy, I guess. Everyone's way too close to each other to some degree, but, you know, eventually. Hey, Zero, what is the 4 mods in S rank tier? There's 5 in that. There is Memories of Nothing, Fleeting Feelings, DDLC Abridged, Doki Doki The Good Ending Act 1, and Hypnopompic. Anyway, let us start, shall we? To the opinions. So, let's start, just bow down the row. Let's go, I gently open the door. So, reading my little notes here, my notes say, gently open the door. Some jokes funny and well written. Some were just shitposty and lol random. Yeah, I do remember that. That was definitely, like, some of the jokes in I Gently Open the Door were pretty clever. Like, I liked the, I liked the joke where the noose was the one being hung instead of Sayori. I liked that the chair was hung at one point. I thought that was funny. I thought it was funny when he opened the door and then it was like Natsuki was taking a shower. Like, so he opened the door to someone else's house. I thought that was funny. But then some of them just kind of just were like, weren't really clever, and it was just banking off of, ho-ho, that's random, am I right? And it's like, I guess, like, I don't know. I feel like you can definitely tell the quality of some jokes are definitely higher than others. Like, some of them just felt very shitposty. And then there was like that weird part where like a lot of the jokes seemed to be, she's naked. like the punchline just seemed to be, they're naked. Get it? Because they're not supposed to be naked. And it's like, I guess. I just felt like someone got horny in the middle of that one. I don't know. But the coding was pretty impressive for the mod. I'll give it that much credit. But, yeah. I don't really... I think there's not really much for me to say about it. I would, it's between B or B plus in my opinion. Because I can't really consider it an A tier. Oh yeah, oh right, and then there was the ending scene. The ending scene kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, I understand they wanted to give like a nice, like, wholesome thing of like what MC should have said. Which I think, yeah, that's fine. But like, you kind of ruined your chance to have a wholesome scene when one of your jokes was Sayori was masturbating. So like, I don't know, I feel like you kind of ruined your
Personally, I think the thing there was that it was unexpected that it was normal.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like you couldn't really do it, you know?
Yeah.
I felt like I can't take it seriously at that point. Like, you can't try to have a serious scene in something that was entirely not serious, in my opinion. Like, I get your point, though. Like, I can understand that point, but for me personally, I feel like it felt like I was kind of trying to be like, look, there's a nice scene here, see? Look, it's a wholesome ending, but it's like, the wholesome ending just feels out of nowhere. I don't feel anything for the wholesome ending. I guess we can say it was post-nut unclarity. I'll see myself out. Yeah, you better. Yeah, I think just because of the ending scene, I'll give it a B tier. Again, a B tier isn't bad per se. I just think it's more of a B tier mod, personally. Just another reminder that B tier isn't a bad tier at all, by any means.
It is not.
I just think that personally, that's where it lies.
C isn't even that bad either. It's just the lowest.
C's just average, yeah. I think it's about B. See it coming. Also, let me read some, thank you for the sub, Rogue Wolf 734. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 500 bits at Sonic. Jesus, am I gonna have to pull out a gun for this? I don't think you need any guns for tier lists. Also, we have a license for that. Also, thank you for the 220 bits you gave earlier. No DDLC mod is worth a sin. Don't know what the hell that means, but yeah, sure. And thank you for the 100 bits, Zara. I appreciate it. B tier is good, but needs improvement and has potential. Basically, yeah. And then B plus is better than B, but not exactly A, which a lot of mods do kind of cover. Usually B plus is either like it's too short for me to really make it A, or like, yeah, it's like if it just did a little bit more, then it could be A, but it fails just by a margin. By a little bit. But anyway, Doki Vision. So on the opposite spectrum, on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Doki Vision, which is a similar mod to I Gently Open the Door, with the fact of it all being skits. Oh, what? Fact of it all being skits. But this one is, it's a little more tame, I think, compared to, let me zoom in just so people can see like the mod styles. It's a little more tame than fucking I Gently Open the Door. And it kind of all bases around the fact of it being television, so all of it's kind of parodying some sort of TV show. And I thought that was kind of nice. It was charming to a degree, you know? Like, I wouldn't say I didn't say all the jokes are extremely well written in it, obviously, but it was charming enough, and I feel like it didn't rely too much on low random humor. Like, the humor was based off of, was parodying something that you always see on TV, like them trying to sell, like, some sort of item to you, or trying to sell, like, antidepressant pills or something. Yeah. And it turns out the side effects are, like, way worse.
Yeah, like, way worse than what you have. So
Yeah.
it's like, why would I buy that?
And it focuses on the fact that it's, like, MC and Sayori are watching TV, so you got little cut-ins between that, of them watching TV, and the wholesome ending in that actually feels decently earned, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like I don't really have much issues with Doki Vision. Doki Vision was actually kind of nice to play. It actually might be an A tier. Cause hold up, because let me make sure I'm not missing anything from my notes. Cute and awesome mod. Skits were decently funny. Very lighthearted. Yeah, there wasn't much to really say about Doki Vision because it wasn't really that long. It was just kind of a cute small mod. And when it did feel like it was getting to be a little horny or something, with Sayori getting her, like, it seems like Sayori was having sex with MC, it ended up being a dream. So it was funny. Wasn't this one the one where Zero fucked up the audio? It was. It gets a fucking C tier just for that. No, maybe A tier. Actually, I don't know. A tier might be too strong. Because looking at the mods in A tier, I don't think it would be, like, on these levels, you know? Like, I don't think I would be like, yeah, this is on the level of Blue Skies or Forward Momentum or Take Two. I think it's about B+. I think B+ probably fits more sense for Doki Vision. Because, yeah, I'd probably put it around these. Our Time, yeah. I think it's a fine B+ pick in my eyes. It'd feel a little weird to put it against all the other A tier mods over there. Look at its creative logo. It gets to stand out. Ah. There you go. And another decently lighthearted one. Can you spare a poem? Speaking of S tier, calm down over there. So, can you spare a poem? This one was actually decently clever. I liked it. I liked that it was based off of a SpongeBob episode, but it didn't just rely on the fact that it was just parodying a SpongeBob episode. It used some of its own humor from it too. Like, I liked Yuri, like some of the expressions. Like, I think there was like one scene where Yuri's like, they use Yuri's saying yandere, like happy face, and it's so fucking funny. Like, yeah, she's like, isn't it like, I think, isn't that the one where she's like, what's better than serving up smiles? And then she's like,
And her face is
like, the joke is different there than how it is in SpongeBob. Because in SpongeBob, the punchline is Squidward saying, being dead or anything else. Being dead or anything else. But then, in that, the punchline is how fucking creepy Yuri's smile is. She's like, what's better than staring at him smile? It's just like, it's just so creepy. I like that, like, to fit all of them, like, MC and Sayori kind of share the role of SpongeBob. Like, it's not just MC or just Sayori. Like, I thought that was really clever. Like, I also thought it was funny that, like, at the end, it was, like, they were putting on a skit. Like, they were actually putting on a show. So, like, there's even things where MC's like, so is this the part, like, where are we gonna do, like, the attached part? And it's like, no, we can't do that. And it's like, oh, right, of course. Like, I thought that was also really clever. It's like, I want to give it B+, but I don't know. I feel like it's clever enough to where I feel like I could potentially give it A.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's... Because I feel like it's something that even if you don't know the source material of what it's parodying, you can probably still enjoy. Like, even if you didn't see the SpongeBob episode, you probably would still get enjoyment out of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is honestly something I think if that a parody, like, if a parody can full on be, like, enjoying even without knowing the source material, I feel like it did a really good job. So I think for me personally, I'd probably give it an A tier. I think it's worthy of an A tier. Like, it doesn't feel like it just straight up took the SpongeBob script and copied it to be DDLC. Like, I felt like it actually was clever in its own way and, like, made it actually work, and I thought that was cool. The problem I have with it is that it describes the physical humor a little too much. I mean, I think my only thing with that is it's because it has to adapt into a visual novel. So, visual novels have to kind of describe things for people to see it. So it's like, I don't know, I didn't have a problem with that because I felt like that's kind of the limitation you have to do between you have to transfer something to a book. That's what I was like, so, I liked that. Parodies need to be enjoyable in media, not just a parody. Exactly. In my eyes, yeah, it's like a parody needs to be able to be enjoyed on its own, but also work as a parody as well. It shouldn't be something that you have to know the source material to really understand, because I feel like at that point, the parody kind of is like, eh. Alright, but, so now, Emerald Affection. Alright, so this isn't Green Passion, right? Okay, yeah, so Emerald Affection, this is the one that actually had some, like, this actually had some potential to it, if I remember. Yeah, it has some weird character moments here or there. It definitely did. I think this was the one with the weird confession scene, if I recall, where it kind of felt, like, super quick. Like, the confession scene felt very quick and out of nowhere. Like, Monica, like, MC's building himself up to confess to Monica, and then Monica, he confesses to her, and then Monica, like, runs away, and then she brings it up later in the club, and she talks about how she ran away because she was nervous, but then, like, I think she's also, like, crying randomly. Like, it felt very odd. I don't know. A lot of moments there felt odd. It felt like there was a lot of, like, I want to say, like, forced drama a little bit with it, with that part specifically. But I think overall, a lot of the other stuff, though, I think was pretty fine. Like, Sayori was in character, I think, for the most part. Yuri was. I think Natsuki was alright, too, if I recall. I don't think I had any issues with Natsuki. But, overall, yeah, I think it just, I do remember there being some weird character moments, if I recall. This is something where it's like, I have to definitely remember. It's definitely something where it's like, if you want to get my full thoughts, you have to go back to the playthrough, because it's like, playing two Monica mods back-to-back probably definitely made me mix them together. Yeah, its use of MPT could definitely needed some work. That's what it was. Thank you, Boy Trooper. That's what it was. I'm remembering now. Yeah, it used the visuals. That's what it was. Get your mind out of the gutter. The visuals they used for MPT were way more, where they used the exaggerated visuals of MPT way more. Like, they used the nervous one for times where I feel like they wouldn't be that nervous. Not nervous. I say nervous. That nervous. So, like, Monica would be, like, showing way more expression than I feel like is necessary for certain scenes. I do remember that. Thank you. Yeah. I do remember saying this was either B or B+, if I recall. And that is where it's stuck here right now. Zero said a calm word. Ooh. I'll give it... It has a lot of potential going for it, though. And I think I did enjoy myself for the most part when playing it, if I recall. I'll give it the B+, I think. I'll give it the B+. I think it's worth the B+. I think it was able to get it. I always confuse a date with Sayori date, and that's not something you want to do. They're similar, but yeah, but they're not that similar. Alright, so Emerald Faction gets the B+. I also learned the developer actually watches my channel, so I wonder if he's gonna watch this video. I hope he's proud. Actually, I wonder if any of it's always funny when I do see developers of these mods like comment on the video, and then I'm like, oh shit, they saw me put their mod on my. They got to see their mod get put onto my Photoshop tier list. It's so high quality. Don't you love it? It's got black lines. It was made in like 10 minutes. All right, so natural disaster. Uh-oh. So you came back for us to do natural disaster. If you want an update, where did you leave? When did you not see?
Don't remember.
Emerald Affection got B+, Doki Vision got B+, Candy Spare Poem got A, okay. And I Gently Opened the Door got a B.
Okay.
So right now we're at natural disaster, and yeah. So there's a lot of problems with this one. So a lot of, I think to really sum up a lot of the issues with this mod was a lot of the problems that happened, a lot of the story, a lot of the events that happened in this mod feel like they happened because plot. Because the plot needed it to happen. Like, there's the scene where, like, the fact that all of the girls are in the club room by themselves when a tornado is happening, where it's like, why would the school allow them to be in a room where there's gigantic windows? Why would they not keep all the students in the same room? Why would they split them up?
Yeah.
Also, Natsuki, like, leaving the club in the beginning, and then just randomly comes back after they just apologized to her, just felt like a forced conflict. Like, I think it would have been better if they want to go with Natsuki leaving. They could have had Natsuki leave, and then they don't find her during the whole tornado shit, and then she just so happens to be, like, thrown in the same place where they were. I think that would have made that scene, like, it would have made her leaving feel... like, make way more sense. But I think even the conflict that causes her to leave feels super forced.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really don't understand what the point of her even having, like, a conflict of wanting to leave the club. I don't even understand what the point of it was, in my opinion. Just felt random. Then there's Monica being aware or not. Like, I understand if maybe... The problem here with Monica being aware is that it both cause problems depending on what the answer is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think she says certain things in the mod that leads you to believe that she's aware. And the problem with that is, it makes it like, well, if Monica's aware, then why doesn't she just, like, spawn things and, like, spawn them food and spawn a tent? Like, all of the negatives or all of the problems that would arise from them being in the forest alone kind of goes away when you have somebody who's in creative mode.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it doesn't really matter at that point. There we go. Fucking too soft the music.
Who's in creative mode.
And then it's like, well, if she's not aware, then there's some things that she says in this mod that doesn't really make sense if she's not aware.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's definitely just needs to be this, and it seems like the author didn't know which one he wanted to do, or he wanted to keep it a secret. But the problem with trying to keep something like that a secret is you might risk it not really working. So it's like, all I'm saying is just make sure the choice that you make with it makes sense. If a plot doesn't flow properly and the characters don't make reasonable decisions, what's the point of telling a story? Exactly. Monica being aware in this mod is a different problem that's not really fitting for the situation they're in. She could have stopped this now just from happening anyway because it's also a loophole on its own. Exactly, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like for a story like this to work, Monica can't be aware, in my opinion. Like, you have to just keep them as normal girls, and then, because I think it has potential. I like the plot. I like the idea of them having to rough it and kind of figure out what the fuck, how they're gonna get back, how they're gonna live. Like, I like that idea. I think this is interesting to see. But it's like, it feels very odd, and it feels like they're trying to go for the base game thing, where Monica's like wanting to hang out with you the most and everything, and being like, yeah, you picked me. And it's like, why is Monica prioritizing the relationship between her and MC over the well-being of her friends if this Monica isn't aware? It's like, this Monica isn't aware. I'm pretty sure she would care more about her friends' well-being than being with the MC. So, yeah. For people who say I never give mods C tiers, well, guess what?
Guess what?
Here goes one. Again, I think the mod does have potential, but right now it just there's too many issues with the mod as of right now. In my eyes. I just got here and I have no clue if you're ready yet, but if Abridged doesn't get an A tier, I'm gonna be upset. Abridged is in S tier, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Abridged is in S tier, so don't worry. There is nothing for you to be upset over. You don't have to be upset here. Not just Monica, the other girls get jealous. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't think like they're gonna care about trying to love MC during a situation like this.
Yeah.
I don't think that really matters right now. Is After Story on this list, or does that not count? After Story is on this list. I think I put it in A tier. Yeah. I think the only reason why it's not an S is because Monica has some, like, out-of-character moments in After Story. Like, so, After Story's lore is all over the place, because I don't know what they want it to do. Because there's times where After Story is supposed to take place after you put Monica back into the game, and, like, Act 4 already happened, and then there's times in After Story where, like, Act 4 didn't happen, and it's very just weird, and I don't know. So After Story, just because there's some slight character issues, gets an A tier in my opinion. That's why it's an A. And you already talked about some stuff in the mosh you probably never say in public. That is true. Yeah, there's some very out of character. Yeah, Natural Disaster also just had some very out of character moments for a lot of the girls too. Yeah. So yeah, it probably gets a C tier. But so yeah, also, there's some bits I have to read. Also, your name was credited at things, so you can't put it in C. Bro, if anything, this shows that I don't put biases, alright? I have no This is the show that you can't just pay me off by putting me in the credits. But also because it's like, I'm giving my true opinion on that. But I do wish him luck on his mod, though, obviously. I think he can make it work. Like, I'm giving advice. I think he can do it. I think it's possible. A story like that can work. Alright. A date with Sayori. Bro, A is in its name, Zero. Alright. Ugh. Alright, so. A date with Sayori. My notes for this one is semi-big, but not that big. So. Things to bring up. The glass break scene ruins the moment a bit. That is true. The scene where MC gets his realization is kind of a little silly. Like, even if it is an impressive coding thing, it's a little silly to when Monica's like, Sayori doesn't exist, and then he's like, psh. Like, it's like, okay, that's
what?
Like that ruins the. He's like, what? And then it falls down. Like, I'm like, okay, come on now. Like, that seems comedic to a degree. But I also feel like, so I think when I was playing it, I commented saying that the bait and switch was kind of obvious that Sayori wasn't there, in my opinion. And I said the bait and switch didn't work. One of the developers then commented saying that the mod wasn't intended to be a bait and switch. So then I was like, oh, it wasn't supposed to be a bait and switch. But then I feel like it would have worked better if it was a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, I don't know, because I understand the point was to see MC spiral into craziness, but I feel like it never really went that far. I feel like he kind of stayed the same level of craziness the entire mod until Monica showed up. Like, I felt like if the mod just hid that Sayori wasn't supposed to be there throughout the entire mod, and then when Monica said that, and then she disappeared, it would have been way better, in my opinion. Because, like, I feel like just watching him kind of get, like, more and more crazy didn't really work, because he didn't go more and more crazy. He just kind of stayed at the same level, in my opinion. So it's like, I feel like it would have been way better if the bait and switch for that. There was a bait and switch. But I also do like the ending scene for the mod where he is, like, talking to Sayori and telling her not, like, to go away.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually, like, a very, I do like that. It's a very powerful scene, too. I like that. I did like that scene. And apparently a lot of people liked how I voice acted that. A lot of the comments kept talking about that. So thank you, guys, for that. That was nice. But I think, to give a date with Sayori, I'd give it a B+. I think it's a B+. Because I think the only real issues I think I had with it was, like, a few things. I definitely did enjoy the vast majority of it. I feel like it was close to being an A-tier mod. But there's just a few things there that kind of ruined it for me. Like, I think I saw Diablo say he liked the screen breaking scene. And that's fine if people like the effect. It just, in my opinion, I don't know. It took me out of the moment when he was like, psh, what? And then the fucking thing just fell. I don't know. For me, it took me out the moment. Like, I didn't feel like as immersed anymore, or like as serious in the moment anymore when that showed up. It's impressive coding, don't get me wrong, but it felt unnecessary to a degree. Yeah, like I said, I can see people reacting the way you did, so I'm not surprised by it. So I decided a B+ versus an A. Yeah. The woman of the gallows scene made me speechless. And that's the thing, that's what I'm saying. They could have did a lot of clever things by, like, making it work, because him freaking out at the rope costume she wanted to use, that could work if you just made it that, like, that could work, because you could be like, well, she survived, but he still saw her almost hang herself, so it could still make him freak out a bit, you know? I think we all know Green Bastion is an SSS tier. Okay, buddy, chill your roll. Latecomer here. Where did a more fatty rank? I have not played a more fatty.
Yeah.
I've not played it due to many things, I think. There's a lot of reasons as to not play a more fatty, I think, for me. I mean, besides the fact that I know of the infamous CG, I guess, but that's obviously not a reason to not play a mod, but that's just, I guess, one of the telling factors. Another one is that the download was removed by the creator. So I feel like playing something that the creator themselves doesn't want people to play, I just feel like, I don't know if I feel like I should play that. That's like watching, like, a fucking, like, I don't know. It's like digging up someone's old work and then being like, this is shit. And it's like, even though they tried to not show it. It's like if I went to review Toby Fox's Earthbound ROM hack. Yeah. It's like, I don't think he wants people to even compare it to Undertale. It's like, I don't even think he wants people to see that. So it's like, I don't know if I even want to play something that the author themselves doesn't feel super confident in or doesn't really want people to play. Unless it was still on the Reddit. If it was still on the Reddit, then in my opinion, if it's still on the Reddit, then I'll play it. But it was straight up like, because I know the Captive Heart dev, I think, didn't really want people playing his mod, but I just downloaded it off the Reddit, and I think I already played it at the time. So I was like, well, duh. After I learned that. But with the more fatty, it's like straight up off the Reddit. You have to like go to other people. They have to like give it to you. So it's like, yeah, at that point, I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't even play it. But I think for the 500 bits, Mississippi King. Kind of sucks you're not going to play Demo 3 of Green Passion. The beginning of it is honestly pretty adorable and wholesome, but the end is kind of where it gets a little weird. Yeah, but to respect the developer's wishes, he said in the comment, he said that he does not want me to play Demo 3 of his mod, so I will respect his wishes, and I will only review up to Demo 2.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, it's time for Green Passion. Shall we? Let's see my stats. Oh yeah, that mod, the CG be fucked. The CG, I had my own opinions on the CG, but We will never know the opinions now because I never played it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna like just share them.
Oh, I guess I can share them. My opinions on the CG was it never really affected me as much as it like creeped out everybody else. It never really affected me because I feel like I said this before. It was over the top in my eyes. Like I felt like there was so much happening in the CG that I feel like the disturbingness kind of went away. Either I already said this on stream or I said this somewhere else. Because I think I compared it.
You were telling it to like us and stuff, like your friends, so I don't know if you said on stream,
because I think telling it was me and Bug were talking about it. Because I was like, compared to like DDLC's hanging Sayori, that one's super creepy because of how subtle it is. Like, Sayori doesn't have a bunch of blood and gore all over her. You know, she's not like, she doesn't have like a bunch of shit to where I'm like, oh no, like she still looks like Sayori, just she can't breathe. Like she's suffocated. So you're just like, oh my god.
It's Sayori, but not breathing.
Yeah, it's like the more fatty CG, it's like it's so over the top and stuff. I'm like, this doesn't even affect me. Doesn't even look like Monica anymore. I'm like, I don't even.
I've seen it. It literally doesn't even look like Monica.
It just looks like a long-haired girl.
Like the artist did an amazing job.
She definitely did. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the artist did an amazing job.
I love the art.
Yeah, this is not me shitting on the art at all. This is just my personal opinion. It's saying like for me, it didn't really scare me or anything. But that's just because I'm not really affected by over amounts of gore for a picture. For me, it has to be like semi-subtle to be like, ugh. So the Natsuki neck crack must have not gotten you that bad. Yeah, Natsuki neck crack didn't get me that bad. That was just like, oh.
That's just like a jump scare. Like, oh my god, it gets you for a second.
Or like Yuri stabbing herself never really made me go, ah! You know, like.
That's not an thing. That's like a shock value. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
It's
like.
not really meant to be scary. It's meant to be very unsettling.
Yeah, it's like Sayori hanging was one where I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. The fuck is the CG? Just look up a more fatty CG. You'll find it on Google.
You will find it, yeah.
Just if you have like a weakness stomach to gore, just calm down.
It's very gory.
Yeah. Oh wait, no wait. I think he's already seen it. He's just saying his reaction to it. Okay. That's how I was confused, Deckner. Anyway, back to the tier list. Sorry, more fatty small tangent, but Monica's turned into a work of modern art. Yeah, but back to a more fatty, off a more fatty tangent. Back to Green Passion. So, Green Passion. There's some weird wording on this mod. That is definitely something about it. And just like Emerald Affection, there's some MPT things. Emerald Affection, you just used MPT in a weirder way, while Green Passion's MPT usage was, I don't even know. Like, some of it was just odd. Like, some of it froze the game at some point. I don't know what that was.
I think that was literally just like a very weird coincidence with Renfi just not working for some reason. I doubt it was the code.
Maybe. I'll just leave that at that, but the MPT was used in an odd way. They had some weird fascination with Monica putting her hand on her hip. Like, I swear, every other line Monica had, she put her hand on her hip.
They use most of the time they'd use presets. They would never customize poses or expressions.
But that was but that's what Emerald Affection did though too.
Yeah.
It is kind of similar problems Emerald Affection. They just they use the presets, which is fine to some degree. It's just, I feel like to get the most use out of MPT, you can't just rely on the presets.
Yeah, you gotta customize.
You have to customize.
It's kind of what that's there for.
As much as Kronos and the team did a really good job with the presets, and I do use a good amount of them, there are times I find myself customizing them a lot too, but just like using the presets as a base. Yes, this is the mod that froze the game for a second. Yeah, but like I was saying, Monica with her hands on her hip felt like it was used too much. I also felt like, in terms of weird wording, one of the things was they used the character's name a lot. Like, instead of saying, like, she did this or she did that, it would be like, Monica did this or Monica did that. When, like, Monica was just said the last line, and it's like, you could just say she. She did this. She did that. Like, you don't have to say Monica. Like, they really like to use their names a lot.
You're, like, not taking into consideration, like, how the last sentence is worded.
Yeah. However, there was some good writing. There was some clever writing, too, though. I thought there was actually some funny jokes in the mod at times. Like, there was where Monica was at his house, and she was saying that, that he was like, it's okay, you can sleep in your bed. Like, he was talking about how Monica can sleep in his bed, and he didn't really understand that Monica was saying for them to sleep together in the same bed. So he was like, is she serious? She can't sleep on the floor. Like, I thought that line was funny. I thought it was like, I thought that was actually a very funny line where he didn't actually pick up
no
on what
way,
she was
she's
trying to say.
hinting to what I think she's hinting. She can't sleep on the floor.
There's no way she's saying what I think she is. She can't sleep on the floor. It's like, that was funny. I thought that was clever. I thought it was clever when he he fully like described the ramen noodles that he was gonna eat. Like, I thought that line was pretty funny. There's a decent amount of the clever writing that went into the mod. But I also felt like Monica and MC's relationship, that is another issue. That went really fast. Like, what was it, like the third day Monica was already sleeping over at your house? Like, it definitely gave exit music vibes. So it was definitely something where it was like, ooh. Like, their relationship went extremely fast. Although I do like the final scene with the cherry blossoms and everything. I thought that scene was very well written and very cute. It felt like how they got there. It felt like the destination itself was very well written, but the journey to get there was super quick. So it was like, goddamn, like, you know, it just felt fucking, like, it was weird because it also went from beating around the bush to then just being like, we're just going super speed now. Like, it was kind of like Blue Skies, where the pacing was not consistent. It was either going super fast or it was going very slow. I still question MC planned the whole park when he was out cold for like the whole day and the school nurse. Yeah, I don't know how he did that either. That man must have been a god. The mod felt like a practice one for the creator and they were learning more and more as they progressed. It definitely felt like that. It definitely felt like quality was kind of all over the place with the mod. I also didn't understand what MC meant by Monica teasing him. Like he was like, he said like she figured out that I liked her and then would tease me about it. But then the example he used, she was just calling him cute. And then that was it. And it was like, I don't know what that example was, MC. Like, it didn't really work. It was very confusing. But, I think there was something else. Oh, yeah. MC is very weirdly rude to Sayori for, like, no reason. Like, she just hugs him, and then he's like, I'll let it slide this time. Like, it's just weird. And like I said, a lot of the writing's weird. Like, I remember the one line where where Sayori's, like, super, like, curious into thinking Monica forced MC to show up to the club, and she's like very curious about it instead of just like playing it off. Like, she's like legitimately like, Monica, like, did you force him to join, Monica? And it's just like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, it felt super odd. The characters just felt really odd and and the MC felt robotic at times. I think that's definitely what it was. MC was a robot for like 50% of the mod.
Which one are you talking about?
Green Passion. I was about to probably wrap up my thoughts on it. But yeah, overall, I think I'd give it a B, maybe. It was definitely close to C, but I felt like some of the scenes kind of saved it. I feel like some of the interactions with Monica and MC weren't all bad, and some of them were actually decently cute. So I do think the good lines actually saves the mod, and some of like the comedic lines I think saves it. So I think it's saved from C I think it's at least B tier. There's definitely some enjoyment to be had with some of the lines they had there. Plus, it wasn't long enough for me to even have more problems with it. It's definitely like a low B, but it's definitely B. It's definitely reached a B tier. Plus, I think most characters were in character too. Like, Natsuki was pretty much in character. Yuri was, I think, in character too. Sayori was a little odd, but I don't know if she was out of character or just being weird. She was actually in character too. I think she was, if I recall correctly, it was either this one or Emerald Affection. One of them, I think Sayori was your wingman. I think that was Emerald Affection. That was actually pretty well done. That's why that's in B+. Look at him. Palpatine, use the C+ tier, Zero. Do it. No, Diablo, I will not. I will not make your C+ tier. I will not become you. I will not join the dark side.
Just have to wait for the day that Zero makes his D tier.
Unlimited tiers.
Doesn't he have like fucking 20 tiers?
He has like he has like D plus. He has D plus, C plus, C, I think C minus. I mean, hey, at least he's got all of his, I mean, he's got them all in order, at least. At least he knows exactly where things are. It's like, that's like super organization.
Man's got 20 fucking
He's got the that is like super detailed, at least. At least he can straight up tell you where, if a mod is better than another one. Like, with mine, I have to at least kind of be like, maybe. Like, he's got, no. Diablo, he's got them all set up. But yeah, I think this is how the tier list is looking. I guess to give a wrap up to know which mods were rated where. Fucking, in the A tier, can you spare a poem? We had no new S tiers, but that's fine. S tier is pretty rare tier anyway. But can you spare a poem was our new A tier. Our 3 new B plus tiers are Doki Doki Vision, Emerald Affection, and A Date with Sayori. Our new B tiers are I Gently Open the Door and Doki Doki Green Passion Demo 2. And our new C tier is Doki Doki and Natural Disaster. Now, I post reviews on the subreddit every so often, but that's about it. Oh yeah, Diablo does post reviews sometimes. But, yeah. I think that is about it. Doki Vision had a lot of great moments, that's for sure. It really did. I enjoyed Doki Vision a lot. I think the only reason holding it back for being A tier was just, I don't know, probably just not long enough, probably. like it's like I didn't have any issues really with Doki Vision in my eyes. Like, it was a pretty good mod. I just think it's, in terms of quality and stuff, it's B plus. I think A tier is just way more quality control than Doki Vision had. But I think if Doki Vision was probably longer, then it probably could have been considered A tier, I think. But it's also just a nice short mod. B plus is good. Don't count B plus as bad. Also, if any developers are watching this after I made it, don't feel bad wherever your mod is placed, because in my opinion, like I said, the lowest you can get is C tier, and even C tier I still think is pretty good. That means I still find potential in your mods and such. And also, don't take my opinion as Bible. I'm just some guy on the internet. Hell, to some other people, some of these mods might be fucking S tier that's in C tier. Or some mods in S tier might be fucking C tier to some people. I'm just some guy on the internet. So.
Yeah.
It means Zero's way too generous. If anything, I feel like I'm not way too generous. Fucking, because people like to be like, well, Zero's way too generous. But then I'll be like, I think this mod's this tier. And they're like, what? Why isn't it S, Zero? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Man.
Be more generous.
Yeah. Yeah, until the devs of the mods I haven't played yet, yeah, just basically wait. You'll probably be on here eventually. You get to be on the shitty Photoshop tier list soon. Don't worry.
It's not shitty.
You'll get your chance. But,
that's why I'm sad. I'll be sad if you have to move to tier list maker, because this looks good and original.
Well, with tier list maker, I can just make it on tier list maker, then I can keep the background. Like,
you can?
I can, well, I mean, it'll still be like the black background, I think, but then I can just put I can just put it on Photoshop with this little literature club backdrop.
Oh,
or I can just remove the black if I just try hard enough. I could probably do that, yeah. Probably do something like that. I could probably fuck around with it a bit. But anyway, oh wait, oh shit. Thank you for the people throwing out bits. I've been talking too much. I'm sorry, guys. I love all your bits and all your stuff. I'm sorry. Thank you for the 500 bits. It's Sonic, not important, but you kept breaking down your sanity, and I marked a grave for you. Yeah, I forgot. But Green Passion did break my sanity. That is true. Somehow it ended up in B tier. How did it do that? Thank you for the 500 bits, though. Oh, thank you for the 500 bits, Mississippi King. Kind of sucks. You're probably. Oh, no, you already read that. Right. Already read that. 69 bits. She apologized for the teasing in Demo 3, by the way. Oh, that's nice. Thank you for the 10 bits, Gundam Tanaka. Fwahaha. No need to join the dark side. We can join the Tanaka Empire. We can always use a foot soldier in you, Afro Zero. Not joining any empire. Thank you for the 15 bits, Randy Randomson. Doki. Well said. Thank you for the 100 bits, a Mississippi King. Zero is a C tier streamer. Well, it's not D tier. I'll take it. And thank you for the gift sub, Bettina. I think I already said that. But yeah, that is it for this tier list update. I guess I'll do another one of these when there's a more mods to update. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And if you wait a little bit, the full picture version of this will be shown. So yeah, this has been Zero. Peace.